Hey, welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here. We are really getting into some of the meat and potatoes, vegan meat and potatoes, vegan meat and cauliflower potatoes. Oh, anyway, see, we're having fun already. We're succeeding. Um, let's talk about that. Any mantras about having fun? This is something that I don't know, guys, as a single mom, as a mom who's been poor most of her entire life, adult life, it's just like you get in this mode, and it's like grind, and business, and we forget to have fun, we forget to play. And I think there's thankfully this movement, people realizing how important play really is. It's not just for kids. It's not just for kids. We're starting to realize it's so important for kids to learn, but it's also, I think, the key to living your best life and to getting what you want out of life and to achieving your goals. So play is important. We all have heard all of the multiple stories of how many inventions, and for myself, I know if I need a good idea, literally go out for a walk. Go out for a walk, shake it off. I've gotten to the point where I hardly don't even like to leave and go on a walk without my phone, because I know that I'm going to get so many good notes that I'm going to have to write down or take notes on. So you can expect it and schedule those into your lives, and don't let yourself get stressed out. Just don't let it happen. We think that grind is what is going to make us successful, but that grind is what wears us down. It makes us sick, unproductive. It makes us moody, cranky, burnt out, not wanting to do any of our work. Or if we do force ourselves to do the work, we're going to be infusing it with negative energy surrounding it. And people are going to feel that. It's going to come across in our body language, in our actions. It's going to come through in the workouts that we're doing, etc. So very, very important there. Now, and I've kind of already started mentioning and getting into some different types of mantras. We've discovered the difference, between having our main core mantras, where we only want one or two or three at any given single time. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a call, and I was just wanting to make sure that it wasn't going to be going through there. So I will talk to her later. What was I saying? We've talked about our main mantra and kind of those supporting mantras of our narrative and our story. And that's basically, our goal. We can almost think of that as our goal, and our main mantras with our supporting mantras. But again, we kind of touched on these transitional mantras and these little mood boosters that we can do. And that again, this is a lifestyle. This is a way of life. You can, in this day and age, especially with all the negative stuff going on in the world, like that is so open to us now, through all the news and all these different social medias and everything. It's like, wow, it seems like a lot. And we can use any of that more positivity. And the more we can infuse that into our regular everyday life, again, the beauty of creating a habit is that it just happens and you don't even have to think about it anymore. So if we can make this a habit, that is just literally setting ourselves up for success without even having to think about it. So that should be part of your mantra. It's like, I'm so happy that I found this program, and now I can set this up in my life to where I'm attracting this positive energy. It's like a generator. It generates positive energy for you in your sleep. And that's what you want. That's what's also great, like about the Norwex, or any kind of jobs where you get that residual income, where you don't have to be working every single day. And then you can really even tell yourself, oh, money just comes to me. Like money literally comes to me while I sleep. But let's talk about transitional mantras, okay? Again, we want to address these blockages that, other programs may not really address. I feel so out of shape. I feel so, bloated and gross and maybe unwell. And how can I get to that bullseye? How can I really feel that when I'm not feeling that? How can I really feel that abundance when I can't even worry, when I can't even focus on anything but what I'm going to put on my kids' table or in their lunchbox next week? You know what I mean? Like, how can we talked about the desperation. If you're in a desperate situation, literally, how? Please help me. Like, I've been there. I understand this, and I had to figure it out for myself because none of these programs addressed it, which is why I'm so passionate. I'm gonna get emotional right now. is why I'm so passionate about this program. So let's get into it. Transitional mantras are our key, and we've already probably mentioned a few of them. But these are the mantras where we say, now that it's the new year, now that it's the new school year, now that it's August, now, here's a really good one, now that I've started the mindemo program, now that I'm remembering how to train your brain correctly and doing it properly, now that I'm doing the 30-day challenge, now that I'm working on moon magic mantras with Clary Berry, like, now that I'm doing this, I'm starting to see the sprouts. I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to have and see progress. Now that I'm using mind magic, I've cracked the code. Everything's different. Everything changed in about a week. Within a week of finding this program and starting this program, I was already seeing big changes. I'm getting chills. It's true for me too, by the way. And I told myself that from the beginning. I decided this is going to be the start of my new life. And now that I'm doing this, I figured it out. I've figured it out. See, there's sometimes those like slash past, present, the line can be blurred a little bit. And again, feeling trumps all. So go with what feels good. If it feels good to say I've cracked the code or I've figured it out. And a lot of times, again, these are transitional mantras. So you're only going to be saying that until that leads you to your next mantra, which is, oh, I figured it out. I'm starting to figure it out. Now that I'm starting to figure it out, this is getting easier and easier. So then you can just skip the transitional mantra and just go to, this is getting so easy. This is getting easier and easier. And you can just feel that momentum literally growing. That's where it becomes magic. That's where you're taking a conscious thought and moving it through the quantum stages of reality, which is again this whole, this tarot elements pattern of mind, emotion, actions, and then continued action and systems and results and building on that, etc., moving forward into the next change of thought, because we're always growing, we're always getting better. That's the point. Okay, so now that I'm started train your brain again, I'm making it happen. Now that I've started Mind Emo Body, things are starting to move. Things are starting to happen. I'm starting to get really excited about my success. Even if you have to say, I'm really hopeful about this program. This program is giving me hope. It's like when you are doing the releasing, when you're trying to release some kind of trauma, or like when you're trying to forgive someone, literally just say it. Just say, I release this energy. I release this negativity. I don't need this. This no longer serves me. I release. And again, broad spectrum, get those mantras working for you in the subconscious. If you can say, I consistently do this, I'm really getting really good at doing this in my life. Da 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 da. Again, I've cracked the code. I figured it out. I love that this is all making sense to me now. I love that I'm starting to get excited. I love that I'm starting to see these sprouts. I'm so happy now that I've had this major breakthrough. It's so easy now. It's getting easier and easier every day, every week. I sometimes like to make my rhymes rhyme, or my mantras rhyme. That can add an extra element of fun. Alliterations, things like that. If you're into stuff like that, throw them in there. Make it into a song if you can. Play it back to yourself when you get in a bad mood, so you don't have to say, oh, where's my mantras? Oh, I need to look at that paper and sit down and be in the right. You just pull it out, play it for yourself in the car while you're driving, and take some deep breaths. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And again, in our society, there's so much negativity going on. Oh, I'm so stressed. How are you? Well, I'm so tired, or I'm fine. I'm doing okay. How are you? We don't train our brains to say. And a lot of times, we don't even need to, if you're exhausted at the end of the day and you can't even remember what the hell your goal was because you're so distracted with reality of your life right now, then, that's the kind of thing that you go for. Because you can just start to say, oh, I'm so flippin' happy. And, a lot of times you can, if you really don't feel like you have anything to be happy for, at least start with gratitude. I'm so flippin' grateful because you can always, as long as you're here breathing, you're around, you can start to look around you and physically find the things to be grateful for, and that will boost your mood. Okay, so boosting the mood is kind of half of the battle. These transitional mantras, these are what's going to kind of get you out of a lot of these patterns and these thinkings. Chances are we have negative thoughts that have been floating around for a really long time. Oh, I always do that, or oh, I always do this, or this always happens for me, or why does that always happen, or in my family we just, this is how we are. And those things, that's what we're trying to overcome and replace those. And it doesn't even have to be sitting around thinking about your goal all the time. You can just start to say things that make you feel better, to make you primed to get you into a better state. So little baby steps are fine. Transitional statements are fine. And this also want to kind of mention non-outcome based mood boosters and mantras, because again, when you're stuck in this reality that isn't what you want, and it's such a frustrating reality, you've all been there, we've all had those situations in our life. Nobody has a perfect life, right? Until you figure all this shit out right now. There's always going to be something to get better, and that's the beauty of life. It's never going to be boring. But non-outcome based mantras are going to be the key, because we can feel good even if we're not seeing that actual, we could wait for the sprouts, but if we're not seeing sprouts and we're sitting here telling ourselves we're seeing sprouts, that's going to do nothing but frustrate you. Okay, so if you're not saying the sprout, if you're saying the sprouts and noticing the sprouts and celebrating the sprouts and clapping at your, all of that, it's dancing at your whatever you want, whatever feels good to you, then it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be even worth your time, right? So you got to find something. Again, these are the non-outcome based ones. I'm so happy. I'm so excited now that I've started this. Things are feeling better. Things are starting to feel better. I'm starting to have hope. It's getting easier now. And again, it's, just noticing, like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited because, and even if you're not actually feeling that excitement, saying it a couple times, it's bound to boost you up a little bit. Okay. This is really working. This feels good. This feels good. This is starting to pull me out of my funk here. This is starting to bring me some hope. Okay? Start wherever you can. Start with the little feel good, and the little feel goods will lead you into the bigger feel goods. Okay? So hopefully you kind of get the importance of the feel good. We nailed that in there. It's all about the emotion. It's all about the belief. So the emotion surrounding the mantra is everything, and it's a gauge. It's a gauge to tell you if you're doing the right thing. It should be fun. And this should be, again, not something that, okay, we did our bullseye for the month and now let's just, that's fine. Really, the whole thing about the moon and the moon cycles, you literally change as you go. You don't have to wait till the next moon cycle to change. Although that, okay, when the next new moon comes, that's a good opportunity. It's a good time to naturally kind of do that and revisit and maybe rediscover or something, or revisit and reconfigure stuff. So there was one last thing. Oh, okay. Well, let's go ahead and make the last one its own video, or the next one its own video. So I'll be right back, guys.